I only got in one 3D platformer this week, but it was Tinykin, and it's also now one of my favorite games that I've played in a very long time. Even the reviews love it. Actually, this says it the best here. A mix of Paper Mario charm and some Pikmin mechanics. A really fun game to enjoy over a weekend. Related to Tinykin, one of the core features I've always wanted to put into my video game database is a scoring system. I have the M for Metacritic, I have the U for user score, and I have C here for chat because originally a lot of the database building was going to be live streamed. And then S for Spencer. In the world of video games, you typically have 3 different scores that you see. You've got out of 5, out of 10, and out of 100. You don't see this one as much. This one's, I think, the common practice. And this one's typically more for bigger groups. The only website I could find that did a scale of 5 was BoardGameQuest.com. There's not very many websites that I can find that use the out of 5 ranking. In general, I think it's because it's easier to translate into a double-digit ranking. So I wanted to talk about the out of 100 first. Typically, you see that kind of rating in places like Metacritic, where you have a bunch of different people reviewing games, and then all the scores get put together in order to bring an average ranking across all of the different reviews. Steam does something kind of similar that's done based off of the all reviews. For example, if we look at One Screen Platformer right here, it shows an 88 user score on Steam. But all that really means is that, well, it's different now. But at the time of when I input everything here, it was 88, so 81.27% people that reviewed this game said it was positive, and so it gave it an 81% score. So this isn't 88 anymore, this is 81. So if we were to look at a game like Jujutsu Kaisen on Metacritic, you can see that the review scores are all done on ranks of 10 as well, though you do have the decimal places like with the 25. You'll never see a 31 or like a 37 or something like that from an individual score. And I think they decided to go that route so that the 60s and the 50s, like all these things translate better into here, instead of confusing viewers where they're like, wait, this person gave it a 6 out of 10, but over here it says 43. What does that mean? So I guess in that sense it's less confusing. But then they also have the user score here, which I don't understand why they're using different number ratings for each of these. I don't know what their point is. IGN had an interesting article where they broke down their scale of 1 to 10 and gave us an idea of what all the different numbers mean. 10 is a masterpiece, so it's their highest recommendation. There's no such thing as a truly perfect game, but those that earn a masterpiece label from IGN come as close as they could reasonably hope for, which makes sense. You got 9 coming in where we enthusiastically recommend that you add these games to your playlist. 8 is great, where these games leave us with something outstanding to remember them by, usually novel gameplay ideas for single player or multiplayer, clever characters and writing. Then you've got good here for playing a good game is time well spent. Could it be better? Absolutely. And there's okay, mediocre, bad, awful, painful, unbearable. If you go to wired.com, for example, if you look at 5, recommended with reservations, it's your run-of-the-mill gaming experience. It's considered average. And then here, this is the kind of bland, unremarkable game we've mostly forgotten about a day after we finish playing. The 5s are very, very different. But then when you read the different descriptions here, genuinely, 10 and 9 could be pretty much the same thing. You could even argue that 8 fits in there as well. 7 and a 6, there's not really much difference between the two of them. 5 and 4 pretty much go the same, and then 3, 2, and 1, like there's not really much of a difference between them. Sure, one's absolutely terrible, but with serious flaws, proceed with caution. I'd pretty much mark that down the same thing. You can even see that here with IGN scoring. If anything, I'd argue that 10 could be on its own, 9, 8, and 7 could all feel pretty much the same. 6 and 5 go together, 4, 3, and 2 are pretty much the same thing, and then there's 1. So for myself, I really want to do the out of 5 rating because it just makes things simpler, and I feel like it's easier to understand. 1 is a big oof. 2, it's got problems, but it's also got resemblance of something. For 3, it won't hurt playing this, but it won't blow you away. 4, it's a solid good time. And then 5 is just, yes, give me more. And there we go. That's going to be my ranking system. So for the wonderful game of Tinykin, we can mark in my hours at 5.4. I last played it on February 7th. I don't know if that's going to be important. Oh, what's the Metacritic? I don't know why I decided to go with Metacritic. 78, not bad. The user scores. Look at that, 93.46. Get wrecked, Metacritic. And for my score, I'm giving it a 5. Just keep in mind, 5 doesn't mean perfect, because it's definitely not a perfect game, but in my biased opinion, it's a 5. Oh, there we go. The MBO score. All right, first, we're gonna go find out, what does MBO stand for? Cool, does it have any, like, bad meanings? Murder business only. Mind-blowing orgasm. Whack cow. That one doesn't make any sense to me, but we're safe. Okay.